Picture this. You ask Claude or ChatGPT a question. It gives you a detailed, confident, well-structured answer. You use that answer in an email, in a document, in a conversation with someone else. And then you find out later that part of it was completely made up. Not vague, not uncertain. Made up and stated with total confidence, as if it was obvious fact. If that has happened to you, you are not alone. It happens to everyone who uses AI. And most people never get a clear explanation of why. Here is the honest answer. And it is going to change how you use these tools. AI is not a search engine. That sounds simple, but most people are unconsciously treating it like one. When you type a question into Google, Google finds pages that contain the answer and shows them to you. The answer already exists somewhere and Google retrieves it. Claude and ChatGPT do not retrieve anything. They generate. They predict. During training, AI models read billions of documents, articles, books, and websites. They learned patterns, which words follow which words, how information is typically structured, what a good answer looks like. When you ask a question, the model generates what a confident answer to that question would look like, based entirely on those learned patterns. That is genuinely extraordinary. It is why AI can write an email, summarize a document, explain a concept, or help you think through a problem in seconds. But it is also exactly why AI sometimes gets things wrong. When the model is uncertain, when the pattern is unclear or the information was not in its training data, it does not stop and say, "I am not sure." It keeps generating. It produces what a confident answer looks like. And sometimes that confident-looking answer is simply not true. Here's the simplest way to picture this. Imagine someone who has read every cookbook ever written, but has never once stood in a kitchen. Ask them how to make pasta. They will give you a brilliant, structured answer full of accurate details. Ask them what a specific dish tasted like at a restaurant that opened last month. They might still give you a confident, detailed answer, because they know exactly what food descriptions look like, even though they have never been there and have no way of knowing. That is what AI hallucination actually is. Not lying, not broken, just pattern completion filling in gaps that the model does not have real knowledge to fill. Now here is the practical part, the 3 situations where this happens most often, and exactly what to do about each one. The first is anything recent. Every AI model has a knowledge cutoff, a point in time after which it has no information because it was not in the training data. Think of it as the last day the model went to school. Everything after that date is a blank. Claude's cutoff is early 2025. If you ask about something that happened after that, a new product launch, a recent news story, current prices, the model may generate a plausible-sounding answer based on patterns rather than actual knowledge. The fix: for anything time-sensitive, verify with a current source. A quick Google search takes 30 seconds and catches the most common mistakes. The second is specific numbers and facts. Dates, statistics, prices, research citations, exact quotes. These are the most common hallucination triggers. The model knows exactly what a statistic looks like and how it is structured. It does not always know whether a specific number is accurate. Imagine asking Claude what percentage of small businesses fail in the first year. It will give you a number that sounds authoritative. That number may be accurate, or it may be a plausible-sounding figure the model generated because it fits the pattern of how that kind of statistic is presented. The fix: if a specific fact matters enough to use, verify it independently before you do. The third is very specific or niche topics. The more obscure the subject, a specific local business, a very new tool, a highly technical legal or medical question, the less training data the model had to learn from, and the more it relies on pattern completion. General knowledge about widely covered topics is usually reliable. Very specific knowledge about narrow topics needs more scrutiny. The fix: on niche topics, use AI to help you think and structure. Then verify specific claims with specialist sources. Here are 4 habits that make an immediate difference. Ask for reasoning, not facts. Instead of asking Claude what the open rate is for welcome emails, ask Claude what factors affect welcome email open rates and how to think about improving them. You get genuine insight instead of a specific number you would need to verify anyway. Ask Claude to flag its own uncertainty. You can literally type, "If you are not sure about any part of this answer, please say so." Claude will often surface its own limitations when directly asked. That one habit alone saves hours of unnecessary fact-checking. Use AI as a thinking partner, not a reference book. Claude is exceptional at helping you structure a problem, generate options, stress test an idea, or draft something you will review and edit. It is less reliable as a source of specific facts. Use it for the thinking. Use reliable sources for the facts. Treat everything as a first draft. The output Claude gives you is a starting point. Read it. Question specific claims. Edit what feels off. The people who get the best results from AI are not the ones who accept the output. They are the ones who collaborate with it. Let me give you one more concrete example that pulls all of this together. A beginner opens Claude and types, "What is the best email marketing platform for beginners?" Claude gives a confident answer, naming specific platforms with specific features and prices. Some of that information may be accurate. Some of it may be outdated or slightly wrong. The beginner has no way of knowing which is which. Now watch what happens with a better prompt. The same beginner types, "I am a complete beginner building my first email list with no budget. What should I be looking for in an email marketing platform, and what questions should I ask before choosing one?" Claude now gives reasoning, criteria, and a framework for deciding. No specific prices that might be wrong. No outdated feature comparisons. Just genuine thinking that helps the beginner make a smarter decision themselves. Same tool. Same beginner. Completely different quality of output. The only thing that changed was understanding what AI does well and asking accordingly. Here is what I want you to take away. AI hallucination is not a reason to distrust these tools. It is a reason to understand them. Once you know that AI generates rather than retrieves, everything changes. You stop being surprised when it gets something wrong. You start designing your questions to get the most out of what AI genuinely does brilliantly. And you become significantly better at using these tools than the vast majority of people who are still treating AI like a search engine. That understanding is what separates a beginner who gets frustrated and quits from a beginner who figures it out and keeps building. Subscribe. Every week, this channel covers what beginners actually need to know to use AI tools well and build something real with them. No jargon, no hype, just the honest, practical truth in plain English.